In the dense, humid jungles and ancient tangled forests of the Philippines, where sunlight struggles to reach the forest floor, locals whisper of the tikbalang. It is not just a monster, it is a trickster, a nightmare weaver, an entity that preys on your senses, turning your own mind against you. Its story is a chilling warning about the dangers of venturing too deep into the wilderness. The tikbalang is a horrifying sight, a humanoid body but with the head and powerful hooves of a horse. It is tall, often towering over men, with long, gangly limbs. Its eyes burn with a strange, mischievous intelligence, and its grin, if you ever see it, is full of dark humor. It prefers to dwell in the deepest, most secluded parts of the forest, often near ancient trees, waiting for unsuspecting travelers. Unlike other monsters that simply hunt and kill, the tikbalang prefers to play with its prey. It is the master of illusion, a weaver of waking dreams. It will subtly twist the familiar paths, making you believe you are going in circles, returning to the same spot again and again. You might pass the same strangely gnarled tree 3 times, or find your own footprints leading you back where you started, while the forest subtly shifts around you. My uncle, a seasoned guide, once told me about a group of hikers who went missing in Mount Makiling. When they were finally found days later, they were delirious, babbling about the forest moving, the trees whispering their names. They described seeing a path, clear as day, only for it to vanish the moment they tried to follow it. One of them swore he saw a tall, shadowy figure with a horse's head, laughing silently from behind a tree, its eyes glinting in the dim light. They were so disoriented, they had even started to harm themselves trying to find a way out. The tikbalang's curse is not about physical violence, but psychological torment. It feeds on confusion, fear, and desperation. The only way to escape its maze is to turn your shirt inside out, or ask for permission to pass from the spirits of the forest. But by then, many are already too deep in its twisted game, their minds shattered, unable to tell reality from the nightmares the tikbalang has woven for them. The Dreamweaver's curse is a terrifying reminder of how fragile our minds can be, and how easily our perception of reality can be manipulated. In the heart of the ancient Philippine jungles, some monsters don't need teeth or claws to kill you. They just need to break your spirit. Deep within the ancient, whispering forests of Eastern Europe, amidst gnarled trees and thick shadows, the Slavic peoples tell tales of Baba Yaga. She is not just a witch. She is a force of nature, an enigma, a terrifying guardian of the boundary between life and death. Her story is a chilling tapestry of dark magic, grim justice, and capricious cruelty. Baba Yaga lives in a hut that stands on giant chicken legs, allowing it to move freely through the forest, turning its back to strangers and its front to those it chooses to confront. It's a grotesque, living extension of her will, often surrounded by a fence made of human bones, topped with glowing skulls that serve as lanterns. The air around her dwelling crackles with ancient, primal energy. But it's Baba Yaga herself who is truly terrifying. She appears as a gaunt, ancient woman, her nose long and hooked, her eyes burning with ancient malevolence, and her most chilling feature, teeth of iron. She travels not on a broomstick, but in a giant mortar, propelling herself with a pestle, sweeping away her tracks with a broom made of birch. She is an untamed, unpredictable entity. Many children, lost or abandoned, have stumbled upon her hut. Some seek her help, others are lured by strange lights. But Baba Yaga is neither good nor evil in a human sense. She operates on her own dark logic. She might offer advice or set impossible tasks, or simply decide you look appetizing. Those who fail her tests or show disrespect are rumored to become part of her macabre bone fence. A story from my grandmother's village spoke of a young boy, daring and foolish, who tried to steal from Baba Yaga's garden. He thought he was fast, invisible, but the witch was always watching. As he grabbed a handful of her glowing berries, the chicken-legged hut spun around. Baba Yaga's voice, like dry leaves rustling, boomed from the doorway. He dropped the berries, his blood freezing. He ran, feeling her gaze on his back, knowing he'd escaped by mere seconds from becoming a bone in her fence. The witch with iron teeth is a primal fear of the wild, a reminder that the deep woods hold ancient powers beyond human understanding. She embodies the unpredictable, deadly forces of nature, demanding respect or offering only a gruesome end. When you hear the cackle deep in the woods, pray it's just the wind. In the lush, sacred valleys and along the ancient coastal paths of Hawaii, the old ones warn of the night marchers. They are the phantoms of the ancient warriors, Ali'inui, the great chiefs and their loyal guardians, still marching to protect sacred sites or escort a soul to the afterlife. Their path is sacred, and their appearance means only one thing for the living: danger. They appear without warning, a spectral procession. Torchlights flicker in the distance, growing brighter. The rhythmic beat of ancient drums, the haunting calls of conch shells, and the hushed, almost whispered chants rise from the darkness. You might hear them before you see them, a sound that vibrates in your bones, a chilling sense of reverence mixed with pure dread. If you ever encounter the night marchers, there are strict rules for survival. Do not look directly at them. Fall to the ground, face down, motionless. Do not speak. Do not make a sound. Any sign of disrespect, any attempt to meet their gaze, will be met with swift, brutal judgment. It is said that their eyes burn with an otherworldly fire, and to look into them is to invite your own death. Some tales whisper that if one of your ancestors marches among them, you might be spared, but that is a gamble no one should ever take. My great-aunt, who lived in a remote part of Kauai, swore she saw them once. She was a child, peeking out from under her blanket. She saw the shadowy forms adorned with ancient feather cloaks and helmets, marching in perfect ghostly unison. She heard the drums, felt the ground tremble, and the air grew cold, heavy with a power that transcended time. Her mother, knowing the old ways, had pulled her down just in time, pressing her face into the dirt, whispering, "Don't move, don't breathe." They lay there, paralyzed by fear, as the chilling procession passed, the sound slowly fading into the night. The night marchers are a powerful, sacred, and deadly phenomenon. They are a chilling reminder that some ancient laws are not to be broken, and some paths are meant only for the dead. Cross their path, look into their spectral eyes, and you will become one of them, marching forever in the silent moonlit night. In the humid, tropical nights of the Philippines, where ancient fears still linger in the shadows of the nipa huts, there is no monster more terrifying, more visceral than the manananggal. She is not merely a vampire. She is a chilling abomination, a shapeshifter, and a relentless hunter of the most innocent souls. Her story is a grotesque tapestry of beauty and absolute horror. By day, the manananggal appears as an ordinary, often strikingly beautiful woman. She blends seamlessly into village life, perhaps a quiet neighbor, a charming vendor, or even a friend. But when dusk falls, an unimaginable transformation begins. In the deepest shadows, she finds a secluded spot, often an old banana grove or a quiet abandoned shack. With a horrifying, wet-tearing sound, her upper torso separates from her lower body. Her internal organs, heart, lungs, intestines, dangle grotesquely from her chest cavity, glistening and dripping. Giant leathery bat wings sprout from her back, and her lower half, rooted to the ground, remains behind, still pulsing faintly. This is the moment the true monster emerges. Her upper half, with its bat wings, then takes flight into the moonlit sky, often making a distinctive tick-tick-tick sound that grows fainter as she flies further away and louder as she approaches. She seeks out sleeping victims, her favorite prey being pregnant women and young children. She perches on rooftops, her long, sharp tongue, thin as a thread, extending down through cracks or windows. She uses it to suck the blood from unborn fetuses, or to extract the hearts of sleeping infants. Her presence is often announced by a strange, foul odor of decaying flesh mixed with vinegar. A story from my mother's childhood told of a new mother who woke up to a chilling sound on her roof. She heard the distinct tick-tick growing louder, followed by a faint, disturbing slurping sound. Her baby began to cry. Her grandmother, knowing the old ways, immediately started burning garlic and salt, scattering it around the house. The sounds abruptly stopped, replaced by a frustrated shriek. The next morning, they found a trail of strange black blood leading to a banana grove, where the lower half of a woman's body was hidden, barely visible. The splitting woman is the ultimate nightmare, a visceral horror that hunts in the dark. She is a chilling reminder of the fragile boundary between what seems human and what is monstrous, and how easily evil can hide in plain sight, waiting for the night to tear itself apart. In the misty rolling hills and ancient winding roads of rural Ireland, where folklore breathes in every shadow, the most terrifying harbinger of death is known: the Dullahan, the headless horseman. This isn't just a tale to scare children. It's a chilling, undeniable omen that warns you when death itself has come knocking for you, or someone you know. The Dullahan rides a magnificent jet-black steed, its eyes burning like hellfire, its hooves striking sparks from the ground even in the deepest darkness. But the rider himself is the true horror. He is headless, carrying his own decaying head tucked under one arm. This head, often grinning with a macabre smile, has eyes that dart around, scanning the darkness for its next victim. Its flesh is like rotting cheese, and it's said to glow with a phosphorescent light. He carries a whip made from a human spine, or a bone, which he uses to crack the air, signaling his approach. No lock, no gate, no door can stop the Dullahan. If he stops, it's because someone's time has come. When he points his horsewhip at a house, that household is marked. When he finally stops facing his chosen victim, he slowly lifts his head, and in a voice like rustling dry leaves, he calls out their name. Once your name is spoken, your soul is claimed. My great-grandmother, a woman steeped in the old country ways, swore she saw him pass her cottage one night. She was a child peeking through a crack in the curtains against her mother's stern warnings. The ground trembled with the thunder of hooves. She saw the black horse, eyes like embers, and the rider, a towering, headless figure. She watched in horror as it paused for a moment at their neighbor's farm, the skeletal head lifted high. A name, barely a whisper, carried on the wind. The next morning, the old farmer from next door was found dead in his bed. The Dullahan is a silent, relentless hunter, a grim testament to the finality of death. He is pure, unadulterated terror, a chilling reminder that some fates cannot be escaped, and some calls once heard cannot be ignored. When you hear the gallop in the distance, you pray it's for someone else. Along the quiet riverbanks of Mexico, where moonlight dances on dark water and willows bend low, people whisper the tragic story of La Llorona, the weeping woman. Her tale is a chilling reminder of betrayal, unchecked rage, and a mother's eternal agonizing search for what she can never reclaim. Long ago, Maria was stunningly beautiful and deeply in love with a wealthy man. They had 2 children, and for a time life was a dream. But his love faded, drawn to women of his own rich class. Maria watched, helpless, as her beloved drifted away. One evening, the sight of him laughing, holding hands with another woman by the river, ignited a firestorm of rage and heartbreak that consumed her sanity. In that unbearable moment of pain, she made a choice that would damn her soul forever. She took her 2 beloved children to the river's edge, and in her madness, pushed them into the dark, swirling water where they drowned. The horrific reality crashed down on her instantly. She threw herself in, desperately trying to save them, but it was too late. Maria drowned that night, but her spirit could not rest. She was cursed to spend eternity searching the waterways for her lost children, her mournful cries echoing across rivers and lakes throughout Mexico and the American Southwest. People say that on quiet nights, especially when the moon is high, you can hear La Llorona's agonizing wail. Ay, mis hijos. Oh, my children. She appears as a woman in white, her long dark hair often covering a face twisted by endless grief, always walking along the water's edge. But beware, her beauty is a phantom. Parents desperately warn their children never to wander alone near rivers after dark. They say La Llorona might mistake them for her own lost little ones and drag them into the water to keep them with her forever. Her lament is not a plea for help. It is a deadly invitation to join her in an eternal watery despair. In the deep lochs and rushing rivers of Scotland, hidden beneath misty surface, the water spirits known as kelpies are the ultimate deceivers. They remind us that the most beautiful things in nature are often the deadliest traps. Kelpies are shapeshifters, but they most often appear as magnificent horses, impossibly beautiful, standing patiently in the shallow waters, inviting travelers to approach. A kelpie horse doesn't look dangerous. Its coat shimmers like silk, its mane flows like liquid, and its large, gentle eyes seem to promise a safe, powerful ride. Every detail suggests nobility and strength, making any weary traveler feel honored to climb onto its back. The creature encourages this thought, standing perfectly still, positioned near a convenient rock or log, just waiting for that one fatal mistake. But the moment a person swings their leg over the kelpie's back and settles into riding position, the trap snaps shut. A horrifying transformation occurs. The rider instantly discovers they cannot dismount. It's as if their body has been supernaturally glued to the horse's back. Their hands stick to the mane, their legs grip the sides. No amount of struggling can break them free from the unwanted, terrifying ride. The kelpie then plunges violently and deliberately into the deepest part of the water. With unnatural speed and a chilling purpose, it swims toward the loch's darkest bottom, drowning its helpless rider in the freezing black depths. Some ancient tales claim the kelpies devour their victims in underwater caves. Others say they simply crave the sheer terror, the desperate struggle of a human drowning slowly, their screams muffled by the crushing water. They leave no trace, save for the echoes of a broken promise. Experienced Scots know that the only defense is vigilance. Look closely. Do you see water weeds tangled impossibly in the mane even on dry land? Are the hoofprints facing backward? But these subtle signs are easily missed when you are enchanted by such deadly beauty. The kelpie teaches a cruel, ancient lesson. In the ancient misty waters of Scotland, trusting something so beautiful can be the last choice you ever make, leading you straight to a watery grave. In the vast hot plains of Venezuela and Colombia, amidst the rustling llanos grass and under the endless night sky, locals live in fear of El Silbón, the Whistler. This isn't just a ghost. He is a cursed specter, a manifestation of unspeakable patricide, forever condemned to wander and inflict his torment upon others. His story is a chilling reminder of how a son's ultimate betrayal can birth an eternal nightmare. El Silbón was once a young man who brutally murdered his own father after his father refused to provide him with food. Driven by uncontrollable rage, he disemboweled his father and extracted his bones. His horrified grandfather, witnessing the atrocity, cursed him. Forever condemned to carry his father's bones in a sack and wander the plains, his thirst for blood unquenchable. Before he was banished, the grandfather unleashed a demonic dog to hunt him eternally, biting at his heels. Now El Silbón roams the plains after dark, an impossibly tall, gaunt figure often described as over 6 feet tall, with a tattered old hat and a sack perpetually slung over his shoulder, clinking with the bones of his victim. His signature is his haunting whistle, a unique, descending musical scale. What makes it truly terrifying is this. If you hear the whistle clearly, he is far away. But if the whistle sounds faint and distant, then he is horrifyingly close, perhaps just behind you. He preys on drunkards, philanderers, and sometimes simply lonely travelers. He invades homes, carefully placing his sack of bones on the floor. If no one hears the sound of the bones being laid down, a family member will die by morning. But if they do hear it, one of the family members will die by the evening. There is no escape from his omen. He also has a terrifying habit of disemboweling his victims, just as he did his father, and leaving their bodies by the roadside. My grandmother, who grew up in the Venezuelan plains, swore she once heard the whistle. It started faint, almost a whisper on the wind. She knew the tales. She froze, her heart pounding. The whistle grew louder, then fainter again. She spent the entire night paralyzed with fear, praying. She survived. But the chilling truth is, the whistler is always out there, his mournful tune a constant threat. The whistling father is the ultimate tale of generational curse, a visceral horror that hunts in the dark. He is a terrifying reminder that some sins are so heinous, they damn not just the perpetrator, but also everyone who hears their wretched song. When you hear that whistle, pray it's far, far away. On the windswept Orkney Islands off the northern coast of Scotland, where the North Atlantic crashes violently against the rocky shores, the true terror is not the storm, it is the Nuckelavee. This is not folklore. It is a primal manifestation of the ocean's darkest malice, a creature so repulsive and destructive that even other monsters fear its presence. The Nuckelavee is a grotesque fusion, a singular nightmarish entity, where the torso of a man seems to melt and grow directly out of the back of a horse. But the horror does not stop there. This monstrous combination has no skin. All muscles, tendons, sinews, and black pulsing veins are completely exposed to the cold air, like a walking, bloody diagram of anatomy designed by a madman. Its horse legs are long and impossibly thin, ending in flippers, allowing it to move with equal, terrifying speed across both land and churning sea. Its giant cyclopean head features a mouth stretched wide from ear to ear, filled with jagged, broken teeth. The Nuckelavee emerges from the depths only during times of great hardship, and wherever it treads, destruction follows. It brings with it every form of suffering that islanders fear. Crops fail, livestock die mysteriously, and the very air around the creature becomes a poison, spreading plagues and diseases that quickly decimate entire communities. It is the physical embodiment of pestilence and despair. My ancestor, a fisherman from Stromness, passed down a chilling account. He was caught out late when a sudden unnatural fog rolled in. He saw the Nuckelavee emerge from the water, a massive crimson shape in the mist. He described the sound of its raw muscles rippling and the sickening smell of salt and decay. He fled, barely making it to shore. That season, a devastating illness wiped out most of the island's cattle. The islanders know that weapons are useless against this abomination. The Nuckelavee is the relentless terror of the sea, demanding total fear and respect. It is a terrifying, skinless reminder that some forces of nature are purely hostile, and they are always waiting for humanity to fail. In the quiet, humid villages and rice paddies of Thailand and Cambodia, where Buddhist serenity meets ancient dark magic, lies the legend of the Krasu. This is not a ghost story. It is a tale of a cursed entity, the terrifying severed head of a woman that flies through the night, trailing a horror too visceral to imagine. The Krasu was once a woman, cursed by black magic or intense karma, whose fate was to be separated from her body. By daylight, she might hide in dark caves or abandoned buildings, but when darkness falls, she emerges in her true, horrific form. A floating, detached female head. Beneath her neck, her internal organs. Her stomach, heart, and intestines hang down like grotesque dripping ribbons, still somehow pulsating and alive, exposed to the night air. As she flies silently through the darkness, the Krasu emits an eerie, unnatural glow, visible from great distances. Villagers know the light, it is a beacon of profound danger. She feeds on the most repulsive waste, but her true driving hunger is for fresh blood and raw flesh, particularly that of unborn children. She uses her supernatural ability to shrink down, slipping through the smallest cracks in the bamboo walls or thatched roofs of homes where expectant mothers sleep. Once inside, she uses her long, invisible tongue to feed on the developing fetus, draining its life force while the mother sleeps on, unaware of the horror unfolding just inches away. Her presence is often betrayed by a terrible, foul odor, a sickening blend of rotting meat, human waste, and decay that makes the air thick and unbearable. A village elder once recounted finding strange, dark, slimy trails on the grass outside his pregnant daughter's hut one morning. Terrified, they quickly covered the roof cracks with salt and thorny branches, traditional desperate defenses against the krasu. That night they heard a faint, frustrated, high-pitched shriek as something tried and failed to enter the hut. The gut-dripping head is a primal, unforgettable horror that challenges the very boundary between life and death. She is a chilling reminder that some curses bind the soul to a physical form so vile, it becomes an instrument of absolute, systematic terror.